a transformational life coach, a mentor, and a motivational speaker. He helps you shift your mind, your mindset, so that you can unleash your true potential. We are talking about our everyday game changer, Ricardo Erasmus, who is a transformational coach and is joining us for our Let's Begin There series on the special Independence Day. What is Let's Begin There series? It is about people who are struggling in their everyday life and they are overcoming some of their struggles in their everyday life. We have multiple ways to overcome these, and they come on board and share what is it like, how are they overcoming them. What happens with this is all the people who are going through a similar kind of struggle get new ways to adopt things so that you can start utilizing these aspects in your life to overcome the struggles that you are facing as well. What happens in the process is you realize that you're not alone in facing the particular problem that you're facing, and the person who's sharing about their struggles and what they have done are able to make a shift in a person's mind, at least one person's mind. So it is their chance to help out the people in their own ways by doing what they do and by advising and motivating in whatever ways they can. So that is Let's Begin There series, that let us begin at some point, because we are all in a journey towards success, but we are all working towards a different kind of journey. But the end point for all of us is success. So let's come together at this point and see what Ricardo has to say. And while I am just a second, and I think he is here. Hi, Ricardo. How are you?
Hey, good. You okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
We are so happy to have you here on board, the transformational coach, the mentor, and personally, I have experienced how you help me feel inspired looking at my own life. So that is something that I always take from you. But why don't you tell us something about yourself?
Now, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on. And I mean, it's like we had great conversations, and it's likewise encouraging one another. So, my name is Ricardo. I'm originally from Cape Town, South Africa, but I live in Wales now for the last 16 years. I'm a transformational life coach, a mentor, motivational speaker, but also I help people in general, but specifically for youth, students, sport athletes, teachers. That is, I love to inspire and encourage people, make people feel that if they can get to know who they are, then they can start from there. So I'm quite excited to be on here tonight.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So let's begin with our series then. Okay, so Ricardo, what are the struggles that you face in your everyday life?
Um, the struggles that I face every day, it is this thing of fighting for fight to conquer the very, like, your goals, your ambitions, your dreams. And it's every day a fight, because sometimes we as people, we get tired, and sometimes we go through tough times, and then sometimes we give up, but not because we want to give up, because we all want to be successful. But it's those kinds of struggles every day that you constantly have to look at, the bigger perspective of where you're going, find that destination where you want to be. And so you might deviate away from it at times, but at least if you know that I know the end goal is where I need to be, then that's the kind of struggles to always kind of like trying to get you back in alignment all the time, all the
Mm.
time. So that's that everyday struggle.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We definitely go through that process. Like we sometimes know what is our end goal, but even though we have that thing in mind, we tend to deviate, and it's a struggle every day to make the right choices and in order to stay on the track. So that definitely sounds like an everyday struggle, and this is something really new that I'm hearing. Even though we all go through the same thing, but
Yes.
looking at it from an everyday struggle is a different perspective. So first of all, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
So, Ricardo, help us to understand how have you overcome this struggle, or how are you overcoming this struggle?
Um, like I say, it's because I'm an encourager anyway. So what I've learned is I have to encourage myself. I have to spend time with myself. I have to invest in myself, Do you know, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, when the rubber hits the road, it's only you that will have to make those decisions. And so for me, I encourage myself. I put myself in my own diary. I
Oh.
um I I look at my life, at the successes, but also looking at the growing edge. What can I get better in? But not to put myself down, but it's about this thing about, have you checked in with yourself? Have you
Mm.
checked in with yourself today? So that's the kind of thing, how you overcome those kinds of everyday struggles.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So first of all, to put yourself down in the journal, and to encourage yourself, and then to check in with yourself. How do you do these things? Like, what motivates you to continue to do it?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's about that, it's about that goal, where you want to go. Take for
Mm.
instance, like a struggle that I had 3 months ago, about when I got made redundant. For some people in different countries, when you got laid off your job, that
Mm.
kind of thing. So that was a struggle right there. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it is so important that lots of people lose their job. Maybe some people who are online tonight, like maybe you lost your job. But it's, how do you motivate yourself from that space, from that place?
Mm.
You know, from how do I start to get to where I need to be, but I'm facing a struggle? It's
Mm-hmm.
that thing, is that the disappointment is there, and I think it's important to be transparent and say that this is how I feel. And whether I write it down or whether I speak to people, that's what I've done. It's what I would say is that it's important to have that community of friends that know you,
Mm-hmm.
that they know you, and so you have a safe space to share your disappointments. But also, when you've done that, then you have to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, where am I now? Where am I
Mm.
now from where I need to go? And so I started Paradigm Shift Academy in this time when I got made redundant, when I got
Ah.
laid off the job, because there's always greater things in us. We're creative, we are resourceful, it's in there. And once you discover what you have and you look at all your gifts and your talents and your abilities, when you begin to look at that and say, you know what, I might have been disappointed yesterday, but my tomorrow
Mm.
will be brighter. My
Yeah.
tomorrow will be better. And so
Mm.
it's that thing of constantly checking in, looking at your resources. What is it I have that I can actually exercise today? And maybe today I'm still in the disappointment phase, so I'm going to share my disappointment. And then tomorrow it's kind of like, am I still getting to where I need to be? And that's
Mm-hmm.
how I started Paradigm Shift, because paradigm means change the way you think. It's a viewpoint. And so out of the struggle came Paradigm Shift Academy.
Mm-hmm. Change the way you shift, and out of your struggle, you realize what are your gifts and what can you bring to the world, and you brought it all together to give it to the world through paradigm shift, because you're changing the mindset of people, because it's all about the viewpoint, all about the perspective, how you are able to shift that. So one thing is to have a community of friends where you are able to share your emotions and speak out. And the second thing that you had mentioned is check in with yourself, and a way to check in with yourself is to see, to first of all know that tomorrow will get better, even if today is discouraging, tomorrow will get better. And to make sure that where have you reached, what was your starting point, and where are you right now, and where are you planning to go next. This makes sense, because if we are trying to deviate, or if not trying to deviate, if we have deviated from our path, then this particular thought, okay, where was I, where am I now, will help us to get back on track. Okay, this does not feel right, this feels right, let me do this. This makes a lot of sense. But there was this one question that was coming up for me when you said it's about sharing with people, the people we are close to, the emotions that we are feeling, and feeling those emotions, and then taking the, being able to say the very fact that today is little not so good, but tomorrow will be better.
Mm,
All of this, I feel, requires a lot of courage.
mm.
Where does one find that courage from
Wow.
within? Where does one find to even, share it with someone, or to realize that today is not good, tomorrow will be better? How does one find it?
Wow, first of all, that's good reflection. That's why you're a transformational life coach. You're a transformational coach. That was really, really inspiring. I could hear my thoughts being reflected back. Yeah, it is about courage. It's about determination. And because growing up in South Africa, in Cape Town, where there's struggles every day,
Mm.
And if you're gonna if you're gonna get yourself drawn into the struggle will get
Mm.
you.
Mm.
So I've learned from a young age that there was always, against all odds, against all odds, against all odds, struggle,
Yeah.
struggle, struggle. And I had to learn the struggle is there, and that's the reality. But where is it you want to go to? And you have to have courage. So I'm not saying I am actually ignoring the struggle. No, I admit that there's a struggle, but I don't stay there for long, because now that I've admitted it, what am I going
Mm.
to do? I need to now become this courageous man, courageous woman, if you're a lady, courageous woman, and fight for where you want to go. And so now I
Mm.
find myself in the UK is because of being courageous. Um, Even I would always say, even if you don't reach that goal, but you have shown tenacity and courage, I
Mm.
think that's still a win, even though you didn't get it, because that is setting you up like a launching pad into the future. So
Yeah.
that has been my perspective all the time. It's I have to be courageous, and it's proven now. I'm in a different country. I've never had a job. I've never been to university. I've never had things that other people's got. And I had to learn that I've got something, and I've
Mhm.
realized what I've got. I'll admit the struggles, but now that I've admit the struggle, I need to now become courageous, and I need to
Yeah.
put myself out there, and I need to constantly get to a place of winning, that even if I lose, I'm still winning for the next opportunity that's coming. So that's just me. That's why paradigm shift is so important to me, because if a boy from Cape Town who never had lots of things, come from a single parent home, have his own business, a transformational life coach, mentor, motivational speaker, I had to learn that from a young age, to be courageous and say,
Mm.
hey, tomorrow will be better. And even if it isn't, there's another tomorrow. So it's a
There's
perspective.
another. Hmm. Yeah, it's a perspective. Absolutely, the way you have explained it. So, courage, one thing, is a must, and you are, first of all, that comes when you realize that yes, there are struggles. You are admitting your struggles, and once you know that you are in a struggle, you can't remain there. Like, it just becomes very uncomfortable to be in the struggle, knowing that you are struggling. It's one thing to accept it and not do anything, but it's one thing to accept it and then start doing something about it. When we actually start doing something about it, that is where the change is actually taking place, that you're trying to move ahead towards a particular destination. And it was so beautiful when you said that even if you have set a goal and you're not reaching that goal, does not mean that you're not winning. You are winning because you've taken the courage, you had the tenacity to go ahead. So, and I think somewhere what you also meant was we are always learning from our experiences at every point. So
Yeah,
it's also about, if that experience is not helping us tomorrow, that experience is going to help us the day after, and
all the time.
all the other experiences.
All
Yeah.
all the time is also the failure. It's not personal. Failure is not a person.
Mm.
Failure is an event. It's just an
Mm.
event. Don't take it personal, because how many of us, the fact that we are talking online, I'm sure that the person that created this didn't start off just like that and becoming successful. It is because, we are not failures. It's just the event. And when you can look at the event, you can tweak it. You can
Uh-huh.
tweak certain things, and then you
Mm.
can get to where you need to go. So that is the thing. I think some people take it so personal that they begin to give up.
Mm.
But it's not a person. Failure is just an event. It's not a person.
Absolutely. Failure is not a person, it's just an event. And being able to detach yourself from the concept of I have failed this one attempt is becomes so important, because that will drive you to give it another shot, that you are not a failure, it was just the event was not right. And absolutely, how you said that we have reached this point after going through multiple failures, and I think there are many more to go, because if
Yeah,
we are not failing, then we are also not winning. So
exactly.
both need to be there. They are like two sides of the same coin
Exactly.
somewhere. Yeah, that was so beautiful. So you said that it is about courage, being courageous, and knowing that there's going to be a better tomorrow. and checking in with yourself to so that you remain on the track. And all of this boils down to mindset, what kind of a mindset people have. If you are able to shift your mindset, even when now we were talking about success and failure, again, that was just a mindset to shift it. It's not me, it is just the event.
Just
So
the
let me go ahead. Again, like everything, it just reflects in your conversation so much that it's all really about the mindset. So, what would you like to say? How can one start building on the mindset aspect?
Yeah, on the mindset, even when I coach clients, it is, I'm always curious about finding out where they are. And this is what it is, starting from where you are. Is finding out what is that, what makes you tick, what makes you as a person, how do you show up in the world? Do you know what I mean? What is it that you bring? Because nobody can tell me that they've got nothing to give. We have, everybody's got something to give. And so it is important, maybe some of us on different stages, people like with different parts of the journey, but it's the same
Mm,
principle. What is it that you have that you
yeah.
could give to the world and add value to the world? I mean, Mother Teresa, great example. It's kind of like how she showed up, how she showed up and adding value to people's lives. That's what it is. So you have to start
Mm,
by, what is it that you have now? Now you could maybe write certain things down. It's stuff like, what comes easier to me that might
mm,
be a bit challenging for other people. So I
mhm.
find encouraging people easy. So okay, so maybe there's something there. Or
Yeah.
what I find easy is to celebrate with other people, where mostly on social media, we see people kind of like showing jealousy and envy towards other people, where I'm like, no, 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 I'm the opposite. If you are successful, I want to celebrate that with you. So it's what comes up for you that's easy, that makes you tick. That's the thing that you have to build on. That's the thing that
Mm,
you have to, like, as an artist, work on your craft. Do you know what I mean? Is find out what is it about you that makes you tick. Being a public speaker, I could never speak in front of people like when I grew up. But the more I discovered, hey,
mm,
I'm a natural encourager. And so
yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's work on that. Let's get books. Let's watch movies. Let's watch
Mm,
like videos on YouTube that actually complements my talent or my goal or my ambition.
mm,
And that's how you begin to develop that.
yeah.
Because when you show up, you're not showing up with envy or jealousy. You show up with somebody who's whole and creative into the world.
Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
encouragement.
That's amazing. So, you know what? I had never given it a thought that I was like, okay, I'm good at something, but the thought about building on it, you are already good at something. So you're recognizing that you're good at something, but it should not stop there. You should watch more movies related to it, or read more concepts, or check on Google, anything. Stay in touch to find it, or just nourish it in some way. I think there's this ikigai line that is coming to me again and again, the way you were saying that once you realize what your gift is or what makes you tick, then build on it. In the book Ikigai, it is said that once you know what is your ikigai, nurture it and pursue it. So I think this is also what it means by nurturing it and pursuing what makes you tick, and showing up, just showing up the way you can, because we never know who needs those kind of gifts and challenges in our life, right? And people around us, we don't know who might need it. And yeah, makes sense. And this question about knowing um, what comes to me easily but is not easily available to others, and how I can build on it or how I can give it to the people, that makes a lot of things. I think I'm going to add this aspect in my question bank.
Yeah, definitely. And also the other thing is this is when you begin to discover that,
Mhm.
it will make it easier for you when people come in with their own narrative to impose their narrative on you.
Mm.
You will have a contact point. Because if they say, Tanya, you should be a doctor, but you know that you are supposed to become a lawyer, it's easier now not to take their narrative because you've already tapped into where you need to go. So
Mm.
sometimes getting counsel or getting advice from family and friends doesn't always mean that they know the best for you, but you have
Mm.
to evaluate their advice based on what makes you tick. So
Mm.
that's another thing. You know what I mean? Once you know what it is, they will have to speak into that. So they might speak into something else, and you can say that's not really me because I've
Yeah.
worked on myself, and that doesn't fit in where I'm going. So not to be funny or be be weird, but no, thank you, because it means that you haven't taken time out to discover who I am, but you're trying to impose your narrative into my narrative. But what
Yeah.
you're saying is not where I'm going. So therefore, I will decline.
Wow. Yeah. That is powerful. That is so powerful. Once you've worked on yourself and you know where you want to go, then even when people are trying to impose their thoughts on you, oh, I think this is better for you. Oh, I think that is better for you. You know it is not going to suit you because you have worked on yourself. And that again connects with what we had started. Like you said, it's an everyday struggle to stay on the track
You're
when
right.
you know what is your goal to stay on the track, because there are going to be people who will try to help you, but they don't know if they're helping you or deviating you. It is for you to know that. And again, the process of checking in. If they are giving us the advice, is it really connecting with
Yeah,
where I
right.
want to go? No, if it is not, then politely decline it and then move ahead from it. Absolutely. This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing this aspect, Ricardo. So, what was the motivation point? Like you had mentioned, um, you were made redundant a few months ago, and that made you want to start paradigm shift, and you realized what were your gifts and challenges, and you had the courage to show up. But what more happened that made you to actually start something for other people as well? So, what motivated you?
good. That's a good question. Um, what paradigm shift has been an idea 2014. It has
Mm,
been an idea
mm,
2014. It only I only established it in 2020. So what happens there is sometimes when you get laid off, sometimes when you go through trials, sometimes it is for your benefit.
yeah.
Sometimes it's for your benefit, but we look at the situation and say, yeah, we're disappointed in what has happened, but it
Mm,
has always been in me. But this was the thing, I had a limiting belief. So if there's
mm,
anybody out there, maybe you feel you want to do something, but you have a limiting belief, that I felt like I said 2014, and the question to me was, why didn't you start then?
mm,
It's because of the advice and the narrative of other people in your life. So sometimes we can play it safe and not step out because it's never been done before. In my
mm,
family, I'm the first one having a business. Or who say you can? I'm the first person in my family to fly abroad. And so it's those kinds of limiting beliefs. Not in a. It's a very subtle limiting belief.
mm,
And so with the redundancy, it has now said, okay, I'm stepping out now. I'm showing up with everything I have now. And you know what? It is a liberating. It's a
yeah.
liberating feeling because, like I said, it has always been in me. But what I'm doing now, I'm creating something where I can say generations from now would say, hey, we joined that academy. And
Mm,
if you come to the academy, I love people who are negative. You see, you are jealous, and I love those kinds of people. Or
yeah.
you don't want other people to succeed. I love those kinds of people because it is just one paradigm shift away from where you need to go. Because once you discover
Mm,
who you are, then there's a shift. And
yeah.
so for me is I have now the freedom and the liberty to everyday show up, whether it's virtual one-to-ones, whether it's face-to-face. I have the opportunity to tell my story as well, particularly with young people, of how I came from Cape Town, and then they're like, well, but there's a shift. I have the opportunity now to do it every day. And
Mm.
that's the beauty of it.
That is that is so beautiful. It is indeed a liberating feeling when something happens to us and we are questioning why did this happen to us. But that is probably a sign as well. Just move ahead. There is something more for you. So it becomes liberating. It also depends on again what kind of a mindset you have about a particular thing that is going on for you. Absolutely, and then creating something new for people, or just checking in the situation, the reality, what is exactly that is
Yeah,
going on. And like you said, in 2014 you had the idea, but it was because of the limiting belief, the subtle limiting belief, and all the narratives that people had around you. So it was at that point when you were made redundant, when you realized that, okay, maybe I am now going with, you already had the idea, so you must have subconsciously as well built on it a lot in these so many years. And then this became like a push for you that, okay, no, this is the time to actually start. And you now have the freedom to virtually meet people or um, I will, there are some questions, there are some thoughts over here. I would like to share it with you. Uh, okay, so first, from Cape Town to the world, it's all about shifting paradigms. Absolutely. What would you like to say to that, Ricardo?
Oh, that guy is a brother of mine, and
Okay.
he's also, I spoke to him in the week. He's one of those guys that I've learned from in Cape Town. While I was in Cape Town, is who you hang out with. It's imperative with who you hang out with, because who you hang out with shapes your thinking as well. So
Mm.
Jonathan is one of those guys that you know, if you look at his life, you will see that there's similarities. Like the way I am, you will see there's similarities there. So and he's one of those guys that talks about
Mm.
shifting. Yeah, he can put that comment there. He can put that comment there.
So thank you so much for existing. Because of you, we have Ricardo over here, the way he's showing up to the world. And we are all benefiting just by having one single conversation with him. So thank you so much. Yeah. And okay, so Ricardo, what would you like to tell people? Let's begin where?
Begin where you are. Like again, you might be tuning in today, you might be different stages. Is to find out where you are. Like for me now, I am in a place now where I am the founder of Paradigm Shift. This is where I am at. I need clients, that's where I'm going. But it's I am here in this moment, in this space. This is who I am, this is what I have, this is what I can bring. And maybe for some of you who haven't discovered yet, what is that? What comes easy to you that you love doing? And when you think about it, you like, oh, that's it. Write it down. Write it
Mm,
down and begin to build on that. Build on that,
yeah.
but also have a mindset that is a solution-driven mindset.
Yes, absolutely.
A
Yes, tell me more.
solution, a solution-driven mindset. If I show some people where I grew up in Cape Town, the background, and the fact that I can speak is only by grace, really, that I can speak today. But the boy who lived in Cape Town, because my mindset, it also made some people think that you're crazy at times, because you're like, I'm gonna go into the world, I'm gonna be like this, I'm gonna be a motivational speaker. Like, oh, be quiet. And you're like, I know this. It's not I'm saying it because I want to say it. I say it because deep down I know there's a possibility.
Mm,
And that is a solution driven mindset, a growth mindset. And most of us find problem. If you find problems easy, then it means that there's a solution for it. So the more problems you find, the more solutions there is. That's a solution driven mindset. That's a growth mindset. And start from where you are and begin to put stuff in place, have a growth and a solution driven mindset. And I'm telling you, you'll begin to shift paradigms.
yeah. You begin to shift paradigms not only for yourself but also for the people around you, because they are going to get inspired looking at you and what you are doing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's begin where? Let's begin by starting to understand where we are, noting down what is making us tick and what is important for us, and building on it, nurturing on it with a growth mindset. Because if there is a problem, there is a solution. Also, if you have been faced with a problem, it was because you are capable of finding the solution.
Woo!
Woohoo!
That's good.
Thank you. That was so much fun. So, Ricardo, how are you feeling? We are coming towards the closure of this particular series. How are you
I
feeling?
feel, I feel pumped up for the people that is tuning in and for the people that will watch this afterwards. I feel
Mm,
excited about your journey, and
mm,
you know what? Comment back to Tanya and share about the encouraging, the advice you took. Share with her what has happened as well, because I'm telling you, I am a witness of that. I'm not just speaking for the sake of it. It's proven. It's proven.
same.
So I'm pumped up for their journeys as well. And Tanya, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. There is this one question which has come up. Would you like to address it? So I know where I am. Subra says, I know where I am and where I want to go. But how do I tackle procrastination that comes along? How do we keep myself, how do I keep myself motivated?
Yeah, so great question. Procrastination, it is, what is the thing that you are procrastinating in? What's that thing? Write that thing down, you know what I mean? Write that thing down and ask yourself, based on, if you say that you know where you're going, it means that you're already on the move. So you have to identify what is the thing that procrastinating you. And sometimes these things come from our past as well. So it is important to write down what is the thing that you're procrastinating in. Face that thing. Face it, and then you can move on. You have to then put things in place. And that's why you need a life coach. That's why you need a transformational life coach.
Yeah.
You need to connect with Tanya, because this is what we do on a day-to-day basis, is those kinds of things. Even though you know where you are, even though you know where you're going, it is so. I had procrastination as well. When I grew up, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then you find out it's been a year, and then you're disappointed, even though you know where you're going. It means that you didn't get on the bus. You didn't get on the bus. So find out what you're procrastinating in, face that, and put a plan together and do the total opposite.
Do the total opposite. Absolutely. Absolutely. And just give yourself that 10 minutes break. So decide in that moment whether you want to procrastinate for next 10 minutes or you want to work for the next 10 minutes. And if you start working for the next 10 minutes, there are chances that you will work for the next 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour instead of procrastinating. But if you choose to procrastinate for the next 10 minutes, you'll be like, oh, okay, the time is up. Let me just get up. So automatically put a timer to your procrastination. That might help as well.
That's very good, because you know where you're going. That's the thing. You know where you're going. So you don't have a lot of work. 10 minutes. I agree with Tanya.
10 minutes. Okay.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Thank you so much for asking your question. I hope your question has been answered. Yeah. And what would you like to say before we end the session away?
Enjoy your journey.
Enjoy it. Beautiful. Simple, sweet, perfect. Enjoy your journey. Yes, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. There's this song, in fact, I'll just add to it again.
Do you want
There
to
is
sing it?
this, no, no. It is by one of my favorite singers, and this particular line has, it's just got me. I'll say it in Hindi first and then I'll explain. You've already given the explanation actually. It's about सफर खूबसूरत है मंजिल से भी. It means the journey is beautiful, is more beautiful as compared to the destination. That is what that means. Yeah.
There we
That's
go.
that's all I wanted to add. Okay, thank you so much, Ricardo, for
Okay.
having us here, for being our everyday game changer, and all the people who have stayed through and are gonna watch it have that element. They know what to do and how to go about it. So we had a mini transformation coaching session as well of how we indirectly guide, but yes, people have got that and they can start applying these things in their lives. And I will be taking a lot of this as well because again, like everyday struggle, right? We struggle to stay on track, and there are ways to start by checking in. If you know your goal, you will not get distracted by what people are saying, and you will know what suits you best, what does not suit you. And yeah, just keep checking in on yourself, knowing that there is going to be a better tomorrow. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Bye. I'll
Bye-bye.
speak to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Okay. I'll just say, hmm, 1 second. That's all right. Thank you, all the people who have joined us here today and who have stayed through and attended this live session. If you want to reach out to Ricardo for more ideas or want to know what is paradigm shift, please feel free. We are going to tag him in this particular uh, IGTV IGTV as well, so you can get in touch with him. If you also want to be one of the everyday game changers, drop out, just DM or put it in the comments, and you can come and share your story because there is so much to learn from each one of you. And people are going through similar struggles as well. Let's just get on board together and try to help at least one person because we are all taking back something. If there is any key takeaway that you are taking in, please put it in the comments or you can put it over here as well, however. And Sunday night closing with the beautiful, amazing, perfect Ricardo. Thank you so much. Bye. I'll see you next week.